Unit 7. Now in this video we're gonna start with the vocab book and then we're gonna explain Unit 7 part 1. 1. Alarming, causing anxiety or fear. Fact, truth. Throw away, wah sound between W and A. Throw away. Made to be destroyed after use. Trash, rubbish, diapers, nappies. Tire, wheel. This word, it has British word and American word. Tire and tire, one with I, another one with Y. Concern, to be important to someone or to involve. To concern, this is the verb with the noun concern, O as a sound. To be important to someone or to involve. 2. Words of exercise number 2. Displaced, forced out. Shelters, free hotels. Shelters, free hotels. Often run by the city for homeless people. So shelters, we can say free hotels for homeless people. Shelters, free hotels for homeless people. Reduced in amount. An election campaign, G silent. Fumes, heavy traffic. Heavy, to a great degree. Overbuilding, due to, because of, due to, because of. Conserve, to keep and protect something from damage. To keep something from damage. Change your waist. So conserve, to keep, or I can say to protect from damage. 3. Dependence, opposite independence. Dependence, independence. Depend on, count on. Depend on, count on somebody. Livestock, cattle, T soft D. We say TLE becomes in American soft DLE, like little. Livestock, cattle. Contaminated. This is the past. Polluted. A hole in the ozone layer. A hole in Z, not Z. The ozone layer. A hole in the ozone layer. Wildlife, nature. Suburbs, outskirts. A suburb, an outskirt. So here, suburb, outskirt. Huge, very big, tremendous. Huge, very big, tremendous. 5. Words of exercise number 5. Landfills, getting rid of rubbish by burying. So landfills, getting rid of rubbish by burying. Ultraviolet rays, beams. Carpool, a group of people who travel together in different members' car each day. Carpool, a group of people who travel together in different members' car each day. Supplies, food or other items necessary for living. Chemicals, bacteria. 6. Words of exercise number 6. Drug trafficking, illegal trade. Famine, starvation. Global warming, inflation, a general continuous increase in prices. Inflation, a general continuous increase in prices. Overpopulation, population explosion. Overpopulation, population explosion. Within American, we make the O as a sound. Overpopulation, population explosion. Political unrest, disagreements. Political unrest, disagreements. So, political unrest, disagreements. Awareness, awareness, having knowledge or experience of a particular thing. Awareness, having knowledge or experience of a particular thing. Spread. Now, let's get started with the book. Unit 7, The World We Live In. Exercise 1, Snapshot. Waste not, want not. Some alarming facts. Americans. Now look at the picture here and tell me what you see. You see here a lot of garbage, trashes. So this is what? This is a landfill. A landfill. It's a place to collect garbage and trashes and these things. So here we have some alarming facts. Alarming, disturbing facts. American make 750,000 photocopies every minute. So the Americans make 750,000 photocopies every minute. Every minute there are about 750,000 photocopies. Threw away 2.5 million plastic bottles every hour. So every hour the American people threw away 2.5 million plastic bottles. Get rid of, they threw. Get rid of 30,000 cars every day. Get rid of 30,000 cars every day. Dispose of 49 million baby diapers every day. So every day the American people dispose of, they threw away after they use 49 million baby diapers. Baby diapers such as Catalyst and these things. Americans receive 4 million tons of junk mail every year. And every year they have 4 million tons of junk mail. Americans use 65 billion aluminum cans every year. And every year the American use 65 billion, not million, billion aluminum cans. You know cans for drinking soda. Soda cans like Pepsi, Cola, 7-Up. Americans threw out 270 million tires every year. Tires. This is of course the frame of the car's wheels. This is a wheel, and for every wheel we have tires. The rubber around the wheel. So, which of the things above seem the most wasteful? This is for you. Any student can choose an answer, of course. But I think the most wasteful one for me, Americans threw out 270 million tires every year. And also another wasteful, shocking thing for me is that they use 65 billion aluminum cans every year. Billion, not million, billion. 1,000 million. It's a very big number. 65,000 billion aluminum cans. Now what do you throw away and what do you tend to recycle? What are the things we threw away? Well, I threw, of course, plastic bottles. and of course aluminum cans. Yeah. What do you tend to recycle? I tend to recycle aluminum cans and plastic bottles. What are two other environmental problems that concern you? What are two other environmental problems that you care about, that you pay attention to? So tell your friends in the class, what other do you pay attention to about the environment?
Page 44, Exercise 2, Perspectives. Clean up our city. Part A. Listen to an announcement from an election campaign. What kinds of problems does Roberta Chang want to fix?
Vote for Roberta Chang, City Council. Roberta Chang will clean up Cradville. Have you noticed these problems in our city? The air is being polluted by fumes from cars and trucks. Potholes aren't being repaired due to a lack of funding. The homeless have been displaced from city shelters because of overcrowding. Many parks have been lost through overbuilding. Our city streets are being damaged as a result of heavy traffic. Our fresh water supply is being depleted through overuse by people who don't conserve. A vote for Roberta Chang is a vote for solutions.
Exercise 2, Perspectives. Clean up our city. Now here we have an announcement from an election campaign. What do you see? This is an election campaign. What kind of problems does Roberta Chang want to fix? What are the problems that she want to solve? Vote for Roberta Chang City Council. Roberta Chang will clean up Carville. This is the name of the city. So what is the name of the city? Carville. Have you ever noticed these problems in our city? The air is being polluted by fumes from cars and trucks. Trucks. This means like such as lorries. Potholes aren't being repaired due to lack of funding. The homeless have been displaced from city shelters because of overcrowding. Homeless people who can't find a home or house. They live in the street. They have been displaced. They don't have a place in city shelters. Why? Because of overcrowding. The city becomes too crowded. It has a lot of buildings and there isn't a shelter for homeless people. Many parks have been lost through overbuilding. Parks, big gardens, parks for public. Gardens, big gardens for having fun for people have been lost, have been destroyed because of overbuilding. Our city streets are being damaged as a result of heavy traffic, because the roads are too crowded. So the city streets are being damaged. What about the fresh water? Our fresh water supply is being depleted through overuse by people who don't conserve, people who don't care, people who don't protect the water. They don't care about the fresh water supply. So if you make a vote for Roberta, this is a vote for solutions. So Roberta has a lot of solutions for all of these problems. This is of course a campaign, and this is an election campaign. Which of these problems affect your city? Can you give specific examples? What are the problems that affect Cairo? Well, we have a lot of problems, such as the problem of homeless people. Also, the air is being polluted. Many parks have been lost through overbuilding. Yeah. Our fresh water supply is being depleted. especially the Nile. Exercise number 3, grammar focus.
Page 45, Exercise 3, Grammar Focus. Passive with prepositions. Present continuous passive.
The air is being polluted by fumes from cars and trucks.
City streets are being damaged as a result of heavy traffic.
Potholes aren't being repaired due to a lack of funding.
Present perfect passive.
Many parks have been lost through overbuilding.
The homeless have been displaced because of overcrowding in city shelters.
So in this exercise, this is passive with prepositions. When of course passive, yes, active and passive, and we use the sentence in passive, we'll start with the object. We have object and then verb to be plus PP by and then the doer of the action, which is of course the subject. So in the passive we have most of time, object, verb to be in the tense of the sentence, plus PP, past participle, by, and after by we put the doer of the action, the subject. So here we have prepositions. I can remove by and put as a result of, due to, through, because of. So I can replace by, remove by, and put different prepositions. The air is being polluted by fumes from cars and trucks. City streets are being damaged as a result of heavy traffic. Potholes aren't being repaired due to a lack of funding to have money. This is of course the present continuous. And know the present continuous, am is are, verb plus ing in active, but in passive, and its verb to be, this is am is are, so here we have is and are, plus the verb be plus ing. So is are being plus past participle. And we'll start of course with the object. So object is are being past participle by, and then we'll put as the end the subject. We can remove the subject and put as a result of, or due to, through, because of. The present perfect passive. The present perfect, in active, present perfect has have plus past participle. The present perfect passive. Object plus has have, been plus PP. This is been, British, been, American, been, plus past participle. And then we write here by and the subject. I can remove by and write through, because of, as a result of, Many parks have been lost through overbuilding. The homeless have been displaced because of overcrowding in city shelters. Now, let's get this wonderful presentation from Mr. Kyle Ralphson.
So let's look at the two that we're focusing on today, and that's the present continuous form of the passive voice and the present perfect form of the passive voice. So again, if I say the beaches are being polluted, that's an action that's occurring now. So if I look at the beach now, I can see people polluting. That this is a problem that's happening right now. And that's why I'm using the present continuous. The beaches are being polluted. Now if I use the present perfect, it's a little bit different. The same idea, but a little bit different. So I say the beaches have been polluted. And what that means is that it's an action that occurred sometime recently, right? Maybe it's still happening, but the idea is that it happened and the beaches now are already polluted. So that happened at some point in time in the past. I don't know when, it's just generally sometime it happened. So the beaches have been polluted, right? So present perfect is for something that already happened, and the present continuous is for something that's happening now. Good. Okay, so I wanted to look at all of our different sample sentences that we had at the beginning. The first one was, the beaches are being polluted by people. Notice my receiver, the beaches, and my doer, people, right? That's the passive voice. The receiver is first and the doer is second. My action is in the present continuous. The beaches are being polluted by people right now. Here's the next one that we had. Many trees are being planted by environmental organizations. Again, many trees is my receiver. Recycling programs have been started by small communities. Again, the receiver is the recycling program. The air is being polluted by fumes from too many cars. Okay? Again, the air is my receiver. Here's another one. 25% of the land is being protected by national parks. Again, 25% of the land is my receiver. Here's one. Dirty water from cities is being dumped into the rivers and oceans. Okay, so notice I have my receiver, and that's the dirty water from cities. But notice I don't have a doer. Now, that's because maybe I don't want to talk about the doer, or I don't know who the doer is, or maybe the doer isn't important. But for any reason, I don't need to use the doer, like this example. Here's another example like that. Windmill farms have been built to produce clean energy. Again, I'm not using the doer. It's not important who built the wind farms, or maybe I don't know, or maybe it's just not important, so I decide I don't need to talk about that. So these are all forms of the passive voice in the present continuous and also in the past perfect. Sorry, the present perfect. Okay, so last we need to look at are the prepositions for the passive voice. Right. So if we remember this example, it said that recycling programs have been started by small communities, right? So by is the preposition, and the preposition explains what or who is doing the action. So it tells me that this action is done by the small communities, right? But I have different prepositions I can use, and I can say things like this. The air is being polluted because of, or as a result of, or through, or due to fumes from too many cars, right? So again, these prepositions explain who is doing this action. Now, these are special, right? These are special, and they're used the same way that by is used, but these are different because the action is consequential of the doer. So what does that mean? Well, think of it this way. So the recycling programs have been started by small communities, right? But this action is not a consequence of the small communities. No, the recycling programs are not a consequence of small communities. No, because the small communities decide to make these programs. However, down here, if I think the air is being polluted, right? I can think, okay, well that is a consequence of the fumes from too many cars. And if I think this is a consequence of the doer, then I can use these types of prepositions. I can also use by if I want to, but I can use these ones as well. So one special thing to think about is with due to, that due to is only for negative ideas. So in this context, it's a very negative thing that the air is being polluted. So I can use due to describe what is polluting the air, right? Okay. So I hope this was helpful in understanding the different types of prepositions that we can use in the passive voice when your action is a consequence of the doer. And I hope you understand a little bit better how we use the passive voice not only in the present perfect but in the present continuous form. Alright guys, thanks for listening and good luck.
A. Pair work. Match the photos of environmental problems with the sentence below. So here we have here 6 pictures, 6 photos, and we have here 6 sentences. So we'd like to match the 6 sentences here with these 6 pictures. Okay? Number 1. Air pollution is threatening the health of people in urban areas. So we said air pollution. This is picture number 4. This one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So number 1, air pollution is threatening the health of people in urban areas. This is picture number 4. Sentence number 2. Livestock farms have contaminated soil and underground water. So when I say livestock, that means what? Sheep, cows, cattle, these things. So this is of course picture number 1. This is livestock farms have contaminated soil and underground water. 3. Acid rain has eroded statues and buildings. So this is of course picture number 5. 4. Oil spills are harming birds, fish, and other marine life. So this is of course picture number 6. This picture here. Oil spills are harming birds, fish, and other marine life. 5. The growth of suburbs outskirts, areas around the main city, has eaten up huge amounts of farmland. So used due to. So number 5, of course, okay. This is of course picture number 3. This is picture number 3. The growth of suburbs has eaten up huge amounts of farmland. 6. The destruction of rainforests is accelerating the extinction of plants and wildlife. So this is of course number 2. This is, you see here a lot of trees, and the trees are cut. The trees are cut by people. The destruction of rainforests is accelerating the extinction of plants and wildlife. Now part B. Rewrite this sentence in part A using the passive and the preposition given. The prepositions given. Then compare with the partner. So here in this exercise we're gonna use of course the passive after we match the pictures, and then we're gonna put the sentence into passive. Example number 1. Air pollution is threatening the health of people in urban areas. Use by. So number 1, the health of people in urban areas is being threatened by air pollution. So here is threatening, this is what? Present continuous. Am is are, verb plus ing. Passive is or are, being plus pp, threatened. So we start with the subject. The health of people in urban areas is being threatened by air pollution. Number 2, livestock farms have contaminated soil and underground water. So let's get this. So this is of course picture number 1. So livestock farms have contaminated soil and underground water. Use because of instead of by. So let's start with soil and underground water have been contaminated because of livestock farms. Soil and underground water have been contaminated because of livestock farms. Number 3, acid rain has eroded statues and buildings. So this picture of course used as a result of. So I'm gonna say statues and buildings have been eroded as a result of acid rain. By acid rain, as a result of acid rain. Again the sentence, statues and buildings have been eroded as a result of acid rain. Number 4. Oil spills are harming birds, fish, and other marine life. This picture, of course. Oil spills are harming birds, fish, and other marine life. Use through. So I'm gonna start. This is subject. The verb are harming. This is present continuous. Bird, fish, and other marine life. This is the object. So let's make it passive. Birds, fish, and other marine life are being harmed through oil spills. So by oil spills, we say through oil spills. Again, birds, fish, and other marine life are being harmed through oil spills. By oil spills, through oil spills. 5. The growth of suburbs has eaten up huge amounts of farmland. So this is, of course, picture number 2. Use due to. This is the subject. The growth of suburbs has eaten up. This is the verb. This is, of course, present perfect. Huge amounts of farmland. This is the object. So let's start with the object. Huge amounts of farmland. Huge amounts of farmland have been eaten up due to the growth of suburbs. Again, huge amounts of farmland have been eaten up, have been eaten up due to the growth of suburbs. Number 6. The destruction of rainforests is accelerating, accelerate to make haste, is accelerating the extinction of plants and wildlife. Used by. So this is, of course, present continuous is plus verb plus ing, and in the passive it's going to be is being accelerated, is being plus pp. So the extinction of plants and wildlife is being accelerated, by the destruction of rainforests. Again, the extinction of plants and wildlife is being accelerated by the destruction of rainforests. Number C. Now, pair work. Cover the sentences in part A above. Take turns describing the environmental problems in the picture in your own words. So here you can describe the problems, every problem in every picture.
6. Exercise 4. Pronunciation. Reduction of auxiliary verbs. Part A. Listen and practice. Notice how the auxiliary verb forms is, are, has, and have are reduced in conversation.
Fresh water's being wasted.
Newspapers are being thrown away.
Too much trash has been created.
Parks have been lost.
Page 46, Exercise 4, Pronunciation. Reduction of auxiliary verbs. Part A. Listen and practice. Notice how the auxiliary verb forms is, are, has, and have are reduced in conversation.
Fresh water's being wasted.
Newspapers are being thrown away.
Too much trash has been created.
Parks have been lost.
So this is the reduction of auxiliary verbs. Here, we notice that the auxiliary verbs is, are, has, and have are reduced. When we say reduction, it means shortage, to make it short. Fresh water is being wasted. Is, I make it what? Fresh water is being wasted. Newspaper are, not are, newspaper are being thrown away. Too much trash has been created. So here, this is apostrophe S could be is or has. Parks have, I make it short. Parks have. Parks have been lost. Of. Like I have, I've. So these are some shortages, some reductions, such as is, are, has, and have. Let's get exercise number 5. Exercise number 5, listening, environmental solutions. So in this exercise, you are going to do what? You're going to choose the problem, what is the problem, and what can be done about the problem. What is the solution? How can we solve the problem? So let's listen.
Page 46, Exercise 5, Listening. Environmental Solutions. Part A. Listen to 3 people describe some serious environmental problems. Check the problem each person talks about. 1. Jenny.
Wait, don't throw that out.
Why not?
Recycle it. I've been reading a lot about how much trash we produce and what happens to all of it, and it really has me worried.
Why?
Well, it seems that the easiest way to dispose of trash is by burying it in landfills, land that could be used by farmers to grow food and other things. The problem is that in many countries, the dumping areas have already been filled up, and it's hard to find places to start new ones. Of course, no one wants trash buried in their neighborhood, but it has to go somewhere.
So what's the solution?
Well, there is no easy solution. However, many cities are trying to do more recycling so that they can reduce the amount of stuff that goes into the landfills.
So number one, what is the problem? Landfills. What is the solution? Do more recycling. Do more recycling to decrease the stuff that go to the landfills. What is the meaning of landfills? Landfills, areas of land where people throw trash and garbage. They bury trash and garbage in it. Number 2, atom. Is it electricity or e-waste? Ready?
2. Adam.
I love my new phone, but I don't know what to do with my old one. It's so outdated. I know I shouldn't just throw it away.
Well, you're right about that. Not disposing of electronic devices and other appliances properly is a huge problem these days. Not just here, but all over the world. Many people don't know what to do with their old phones, computers, video game systems, TV sets, refrigerators. There are dangerous chemicals in these products, and they have to be handled in the right way.
So, what are we supposed to do?
Well, e-waste is not going away. With all the new technology these days, there's more e-waste than ever before. The solution is just to dispose of it responsibly. The good news is that there are more and more e-waste processing centers where professionals take these products and separate them into their various parts. Many of the parts can be reused, of course.
E-waste, electronic waste. It means to change your mobiles, your old mobiles, laptops, computers, televisions with new ones. So this is a very big problem because they contain chemicals. So we should do what? We should put them in e-waste, electronic waste. We should give them to e-centers, electronic centers. They use them again as they assimilate them, separate them into parts, and reuse them again in the new parts, of the new appliances and the new electronic sets. So this is the solution. Number 3.
3. Katie.
You know, you always hear about air pollution, but not many people are aware of the problem of water pollution.
You mean in the oceans?
No, I mean polluted drinking water. It's a problem in almost every major city in the world. Almost all our rivers and lakes, where we get our drinking water from, are being polluted in some way by businesses, farms, homes, industries, and other sources. And even though the water most of us drink is treated, it's still not 100% pure.
So what's the solution?
Well, it's a complicated problem to solve, but basically what's involved is treating all waste products more carefully so that dangerous chemicals and bacteria don't get into our water supply.
Number 3, Katie. Is it air pollution or water pollution? Water pollution. So the problem, water pollution. So what can be done about it? Of course, treat all waste products more carefully. To treat all waste products more carefully. Because the water is polluted by businesses, industries, and a lot of things. So we should treat all waste products more carefully. Exercise number 6, word power, world problems. Now number A, per work. How concerned is your partner about these problems? Check through his or her answers. So here, you look at the picture, what do you see? A lot of people, and they are walking. They have a lot of balloons. Of course, this is a campaign, a march. They protest something. So this is the problem. Are you very concerned? Fairly concerned? Rather concerned or not concerned? Not concerned, you don't care. The problem of cancer. Drug trafficking. Drugs. Like heroin, cocaine, marijuana. Famine. Famine, starvation, no food. Global warming, the increase of the Earth's temperature, government corruption, inflation. Inflation means the increase of prices, overpopulation. Overpopulation, this means when you have a lot of people in a small area, in a small piece of land. Political unrest. Disagreement about politics. Poverty. Poverty or poverty when we don't have a lot of money or good enough money to live, to buy our needs. When we are poor and we aren't rich. Now, you ask your friends about these problems. Are you concerned? Fairly concerned? Rather concerned or not concerned? Do you pay attention or you don't care? Not concerned. Now, let's get an example. Number B, group work. Share your partner's answers with another pair. Which problems concern your group the most? What will happen if the problem isn't solved? What will happen if this problem doesn't have a solution? A, B, and C. So here we make a conversation between you and your friends about each problem. Many lives have been lost due to cancer. B, we need to find ways to raise money for more research. C, I agree. If we don't, the disease will continue to spread. I agree. If we don't, the disease will continue to spread. The disease will continue to spread everywhere, and a lot of people are gonna die. So that's the end, of course, of Unit 7, Part 1. Now let's get the homework. Number 1, keep the words by heart and their meaning, of course, in English. Number 2, listen and repeat. 3, answer 3 pages of the workbook. Interchange 3 workbook, Unit 7. Number 4, go to www.cambridge.org/interchangearcade/. You will have wonderful exercises. شكرا للمشاهدة. Hope you like it, share it and subscribe. يرجى الاشتراك على القناة الآن. Thanks for watching. شكرا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Unit 7. Now in this video we're gonna start with the vocab book and then we're gonna explain Unit 7 part 1. 1. Alarming, causing anxiety or fear. Fact, truth. Throw away, wah sound between W and A. Throw away. Made to be destroyed after use. Trash, rubbish. Diapers, nappies. Tire, wheel. This one, okay, this word, it has British word and American word. Tire and tire. One with I, another one with Y. Concern. To be important to someone or to involve. To concern, this is the inflation. A general continuous increase in prices. Inflation, a general continuous increase in prices. Overpopulation, population explosion. Overpopulation, population explosion. Within American, we make the O as a sound. Overpopulation, population explosion. Political unrest, disagreements. Political unrest, disagreements. So, political unrest, disagreements. Awareness, having knowledge or experience of a particular thing. Awareness, having knowledge or experience of a particular thing. Spread. Now, let's get started with the book. Unit 7. The world we live in. Exercise 1. Suburb, outskirt. Huge, very big, tremendous. Huge, very big, tremendous. 5. Words of exercise number 5. Landfills, getting rid of rubbish by burying. So landfills, getting rid of rubbish by burying. Ultraviolet rays, beams. Carpool, a group of people who travel together in a different member's car each day. Carpool, a group of people who travel together in a different member's car each day. Supplies, food or other items necessary for living. Food or other items necessary for living. Chemicals, bacteria. 6. Words of exercise number 6. Drug trafficking, illegal trade. Famine, starvation. Global warming, verb with the noun concern, O as a sound. To be important to someone or to involve. 2. Words of exercise number 2. Displaced, forced out. Shelters, free hotels. Often run by the city for homeless people. So shelters, we can say free hotels for homeless people. Shelters, free hotels for homeless people. Reduced in amount. An election campaign, G silent. Fumes, heavy traffic, heavy, to a great degree. Overbuilding, due to, because of, due to, because of. Conserve, to keep and protect something from damage. To keep something from damage. Change your waste. So conserve, to keep, or I can say to protect from damage. 3. Dependence. Opposite, independence. Dependence, independence. Depend on, count on. Depend on, count on somebody. Livestock, cattle, cattle. T soft D. We say TLE becomes in American soft DLE, like little, little. Livestock, cattle, cattle. Contaminate, contaminate, contaminated, contaminated. This is the past. Pollute, polluted, polluted. A hole in the ozone layer. A hole in Z, not Z, the ozone layer. A hole in the ozone layer. Wildlife, nature. Suburb. Suburbs, outskirts. A suburb, an outskirt. So here